Imagine a lake so serene, so beautiful, yet conceals a mystery more deadly than Chernobyl. Welcome to the world of Lake Karachay, a spectacle of nature that sits quietly in the heartland of Northwest Asia. Its placid waters reflect the azure sky, cradled by the majestic Ural Mountains that stand as silent sentinels. A vision of tranquility, its surface ripples gently with the whispering winds, painting a picture of peace and serenity that can beguile any onlooker. Located near the southern edge of Russia's Ural Mountains, Lake Karachay is a small body of water, hardly a blip on the map. The lake is relatively small, spanning an area of approximately 0.15 square kilometers. Its shallow waters, with a maximum depth of about 3 meters, belies the depth of the secrets it holds. The lake's shores are as still as glass, lined with pebbles and rocks that bear silent testimony to the passage of time. The surrounding landscape is a tapestry of green, where the dense foliage of the forests meets the clear blue of the lake, creating a spectacle of colors that is as captivating as it is deceptive. But don't let the serene facade fool you, for this is no ordinary lake. This seemingly tranquil body of water holds a secret, an enigma cloaked in tranquility. It's a secret so deadly, it makes the infamous Chernobyl look like a walk in the park. The story of Lake Karachay is a tale of beauty and betrayal, a narrative of nature and negligence. It's a paradox, a contradiction that challenges our understanding of the world around us. This picturesque lake, with its calm waters and peaceful ambiance, is a stark contrast to the lethal legacy it conceals. As the sun sets and the stars take their place in the night sky, the lake continues its silent vigil, holding its secrets close. The tranquil surface belies the turmoil beneath, a deadly truth buried in history. But beneath the placid surface lies a grave secret, a deadly truth buried in history. As we delve into the past, the year 1945 marks the genesis of the lake's lethal legacy. In the aftermath of the Second World War, the Soviet Union embarked on a quest to match the nuclear prowess of the United States. As part of this ambition, they established the Mayak Production Association, a complex situated in the southern Ural Mountains, not far from the serene Lake Karachay. At first glance, the Mayak facility was a beacon of progress, a testament to Soviet scientific prowess. But beneath the surface, a more sinister operation was taking place. Housed within the sprawling complex were several nuclear reactors and reprocessing units, all producing weapons-grade plutonium for the rapidly escalating arms race. But every factory has its waste, and Mayak was no exception. The byproduct of its nuclear activities was an array of highly radioactive waste, a dangerous cocktail of isotopes such as cesium-137 and strontium-90. And where did they decide to deposit this lethal waste? None other than the peaceful Lake Karachay. From the late 1940s into the early 1950s, the lake was systematically transformed into a dumping ground for the facility's radioactive waste. The once tranquil waters of the lake became a swirling soup of radioactivity, its depths concealing a deadly secret. This was not a one-off event, but a systematic ongoing process that lasted for years. As the nuclear arms race intensified, the lake's toxicity grew in tandem. Every new batch of waste added another layer of lethal radioactivity, turning the lake into one of the most polluted bodies of water on the planet. And yet, throughout this period, the lake's deadly transformation remained hidden from the world. The Soviet Union's Iron Curtain kept prying eyes at bay, allowing the lake's lethal legacy to grow unchecked. As the arms race intensified, so did the lake's toxicity, unbeknownst to the world. A peaceful lake, now a silent killer, its deadly nature remained hidden until a catastrophic event in 1957. This catastrophic event was none other than the Kyshtym disaster, one of the world's worst nuclear accidents. The Kyshtym disaster unfolded in the Mayak Production Association, one of the largest and oldest nuclear facilities in Russia. The facility was notorious for its lack of safety measures, and in September 1957 it suffered a severe nuclear waste tank explosion. The explosion catapulted about 70 to 80 tons of radioactive waste into the atmosphere, contaminating an area of approximately 20,000 square kilometers. The aftermath was nothing short of apocalyptic. The radioactive clouds spread across the region, contaminating the air, the soil, and most tragically, our peaceful lake. For days the residents were oblivious to the invisible killer seeping into their environment. It was only when people started falling ill, developing radiation sickness, that the scale of the disaster began to dawn upon them. The Soviet government, realizing the magnitude of the disaster, quickly embarked on a massive evacuation plan. Over 10,000 people were evacuated from their homes, leaving behind their lives and everything they knew. The region, now known as the East Urals radioactive trace, became a ghost town, a stark reminder of the tragic event. The lake, once a symbol of tranquility, had now become a deadly radiation hotspot. Its serene waters concealed a horrific secret, a deadly concoction of radioactive isotopes. The Kishtim disaster had exposed this secret, bringing the lake's lethal nature to light. The world watched in horror as the extent of the contamination unfolded, the lake's deadly secret now thrust into the global spotlight. The silent killer had been unveiled, and it was more menacing than anyone could have ever imagined. It was a stark reminder of the price humanity had to pay for its reckless pursuit of nuclear power. This disaster unveiled the lake's deadly secret, thrusting it into the world's spotlight. Lake Karachay, now known as the world's most polluted lake, carries a lethal legacy. This serene body of water, nestled in the heart of Northwest Asia, hides a deadly secret beneath its tranquil surface. The lake's contamination is not only profound but also incredibly lethal, casting a shadow of death over the picturesque landscape. The lake's contamination is so extensive that it's not just the water that's deadly. The very air around the lake is thick with unseen danger. The radioactive particles churned up by the wind can be lethal to those who venture too close. In fact, the radiation levels are so extreme that standing near the lake for just a few short minutes can deliver a fatal dose. Imagine the invisible menace, the silent killer that lurks in this peaceful setting. This isn't a scene from a dystopian novel. This is the grim reality of Lake Karachay. The lake's radiation levels are so high that they outstrip those of the infamous Chernobyl disaster site, earning it the dubious distinction of being one of the most polluted places on Earth. This lethal legacy isn't confined to the lake itself. The contamination has spread, seeping into the surrounding soil, poisoning the plants, and endangering the local wildlife. The invisible tendrils of radiation have reached out, tainting everything they touch. This has created a ripple effect, impacting not just the immediate vicinity of the lake, but also the wider ecosystem. The deadly contamination of Lake Karachay is a stark reminder of the lasting impacts of human activity on our environment. It's a testament to the fact that nature, in all its beauty and tranquility, can also harbor dangers of our own making. And it's a sobering example of the destructive power of radiation, a force that, once unleashed, can't be easily contained or reversed. In this tranquil setting, death lurks invisibly, making Lake Karachay a place of paradoxical beauty and danger. It's a beautiful yet deadly landscape, a chilling testament to the irreversible damage that can be wrought by human hands. It's a haunting legacy, a lethal inheritance that we must strive to avoid repeating in the future. Fast forward to the present, the lake's deadly secret remains, casting a long shadow of fear for the future. Today, Lake Karachay, nestled in Northwest Asia, continues to bear the lethal legacy of its past. The lake's surroundings, once bustling with life, are now eerily silent, a ghostly testament to the lake's hidden dangers. Despite ongoing efforts to contain the contamination, the challenges persist. The invisible threat of radiation continues to linger, its deadly potential unabated. Efforts to contain the contamination have been monumental. Scientists and government agencies have tirelessly worked to seal off the lake, using concrete and other materials to trap the radioactive sediment. Yet, despite these endeavors, the task is far from complete. The lake's size, coupled with the sheer volume of radioactive material, makes this a Herculean task, one that is likely to take years, if not decades, to accomplish. And as we grapple with the contamination, the future holds its own set of fears. The specter of climate change looms large over Lake Karachay. Rising temperatures and erratic weather patterns increase the risk of disturbing the radioactive sediment, potentially releasing it into the environment. Furthermore, the threat of natural disasters, such as earthquakes or floods, adds another layer of uncertainty to the equation, raising fears of a potential radioactive catastrophe. These concerns are not unfounded. They are grounded in the harsh lessons of the past, a past that has seen the devastating impact of radiation on life and the environment. The consequences of failing to address this issue are simply too grave to ignore. And so, as we look ahead, we are forced to confront a troubling reality. The fate of Lake Karachay is not just a regional concern, it's a global one. It's a stark reminder of the destructive power of human actions and the delicate balance of nature that we so often take for granted. Lake Karachay, a haunting reminder of a dark past, stands as a stark warning for the future, a testament to the devastating consequences of human actions on nature.